Today, a history of war. If in the previous episode we talked about the Viet Cong tactics, today I will show you how the Americans approached this war. The tactics of the Americans in the Vietnam War can be easily presented by the acronym BEAST: bombing, escalation, air and artillery, search and destroy, and technology. First of them, bombing. President Johnson ordered the bombing of strategic military targets in North Vietnam, including air raids on the capital city Hanoi and bases and supply routes for the Viet Cong. This was codenamed Operation Rolling Thunder. The USA would ultimately drop 3 million tons of bombs in Vietnam, more than all the bombs dropped in Europe during World War II. However, bombing was highly inaccurate due to the jungle landscape and the lack of industrial targets in North Vietnam. Escalation. President Johnson slowly increased the number of American troops on the ground in Vietnam. In 1965, 2 battalions of US Marines were deployed to protect military bases at Da Nang. Air and artillery. American troops were sent on patrols to be supported by air and artillery if they are attacked by the Viet Cong. These dejected soldiers, who realized they were being used as bait to draw out the enemy. Search and destroy. From 1965, the American military began a policy of sending soldiers into the jungle and villages of Vietnam to take the war to the enemy. This often meant soldiers were easy targets for Viet Cong guerrilla attacks, as the Viet Cong were far more at home in the jungle than the American soldiers. This tactic also led to a high number of civilian casualties, destruction of villages, and atrocities like the My Lai massacre, all of which damaged the US reputation. Technology. The USA relied on high-altitude bombers to drop heavy bombs in North Vietnam. They used jets to dump napalm on suspected Viet Cong strongholds, and Agent Orange, an ultra-strong defoliant, was used to destroy the jungle cover. The more we look at American decision-making in Vietnam, the less sense it makes. Even if the Americans had much more advanced technology than the Communists, in the end they were forced to retreat from Vietnam in 1973. That's all for today, guys. I hope you like it and see you next time.